Hello, good day, friends. Welcome once again. Today's topic will be uh, part two of the daily part two. And I prepared some notes. God is amazing, friends. God is amazing. All this is doing. Nothing to do with me. Have you ever heard the term saving the best for last? Well, this is exactly what it is. And this was all God's doing, and nothing to do with me, as I said before. He wants me to expound upon this particular verse, Daniel 12:11, and to unpack it. As I was driving along this morning whilst at my morning job, he brought some things to mind. He brought these things to mind. And evidently the reason is to do a part two of the daily. Okay, so let me first read the verse, then I will share with you what he shared with me, which is Daniel 12:11. I'll read that verse. But God is truly amazing. He is amazing how he leads us. And all who are faithful followers of Christ can attest to this. How he leads us in such an amazing way. I don't know why people don't believe that God communicates with us. God is the same God. It's the same God. He's the same. And he brings things to our minds. He speaks to us through our visions and dreams. And when you tell people these things, they're like, oh, are you sure is the Lord talking to you? Oh, that was in the apostolic age. As if God changed. God changes not. Oh, so let me bring it down low now, because I was on a spiritual high. Let me bring it down low and read the verse. Daniel 12 verse 11. Amazing. And he wanted this particular verse to be last, to be by itself. You know, as I said before, to unpack this verse. Okay. And I read. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. 1,290 days. Okay. Once again, we see the desolating powers. Once again, from the time the deadly sacrifice shall be taken away, lifted up, exalted, Gadol. That's one. And the abomination that maketh desolate set up, that's two. So that two desolating powers. Okay, the transition from pagan Rome to papal Rome began in 508 AD. And in 538 AD, 30 years, pagan Rome became papal Rome. So there was a transition starting from 508. So the transition took 30 years. The end of the verse mentioned a time prophecy, 1,290 days, which is really 1,290 years prophetically, a day for a year principle. We could see this in Ezekiel 4 verse 6. Okay. So from 508 AD, when the transition started, to 1798, when the papacy received the deadly wound, was 1,290 years. Therefore, the abomination that maketh desolate, papacy lasted 1,290 years. Straightforward. This 30 years is very significant. because Satan counterfeits all that God does. Everything. Christ was prepared for 30 years, fulfilling the priestly principle. A priest in the Jewish Levitical service system was ordained for ministry at the age of 30. So Christ fulfilled that when he was baptized at age 30. He became the Christ, definite article. He became the Christ, our high priest. 30 also is a symbol for preparation, giving us an example to follow. Okay, so after he became the Christ, definite article, he gave his testimony for 3.5 years. Then he was cut off, crucified, fulfilling also the Passover. There was no more purpose to slay a lamb for our sins. He paid that price for all. So the feasts, ceremonies were done away. Likewise, Satan followed the same blueprint. He has any choice? No, he doesn't have any choice. God is in charge. God is in control. He prepared, transitioned for 30 years. See that 30 again? Then he gave his testimony also through the Pope for 3.5 years also, before also receiving a deadly wound in 1798. Daniel 12 verse 7 gives us the 3.5 years, which prophetically is also 1,260 years. So, okay, so Daniel 12:7 gives us, let me read it. Oops. I don't want to lose you guys. Let me read it. Daniel 12 verse 7. And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and sware by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, 1, times 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3, and a half, 3.5. So 3.5, the 1,260 years from 538 until 1798, but it also the time is also 3.5 years. So you see, Satan follows the same blueprint. Okay, so this number 30, he also counterfeited. And remember now, after Christ was crucified, there were no more need for animal sacrifices. Satan copied that as well, because before paganism used to have human sacrifices to their sun god, to appease the god of nature, to appease their god. They usually sacrifice their children and other human beings. Okay, I carry on. But at the number 30, which is 538 AD, when paganism was taken away and the Pope now became the vicar of Christ, the counterfeit, just as when Jesus became the Christ, at 30, human sacrifices was done away with. 538, 30 years, paganism, human sacrifice was done away with. Just as it was with the ceremonial feasts. The counterfeit closely followed the genuine, brothers and sisters. The counterfeit closely followed the genuine. Okay. I pray that someone received the light on this topic for this afternoon. But if you're still in doubt, take it to the Lord in prayer. You may like and share this video with a friend. Okay for now. Until next time, stay blessed. Love you.